A very pleasant afternoon to our very illustrious dignitaries, heads of institutions, faculty colleagues, and our dear students. On behalf of Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, I, Dr. Pooja Sareen, feel extremely honored and privileged in welcoming all to the guest lecture on Privacy Digital Personal Data Protection Act. Amity University, a beacon of research and innovation, is a part of the Amity Education Group, which has over 200,000 students studying across 1,000 acres of high tech campuses. The group has 6,000 plus faculties, 13 universities, and 16 international campuses. We are ranked among top 3% universities globally by QS, and we feel immense pride in sharing that we have more than 7 lakh alumni across the globe. Under the very transformational and sagacious leadership of our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan sir, our visionary chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan sir, and the dynamic vice chancellor, Professor Dr. Balwinder Shukla ma'am, the university has consistently achieved unparalleled heights. The very theme of today's session is extremely critical, relevant, and timely. With the notification of the DPTP rules 2025, the Government of India has completed the framework for implementing the DPDP Act 2023, thereby creating a balanced, citizen-centric, and innovation-friendly regime for digital personal data protection in India. Today, at the very elite panel for this session, we are deeply grateful to have amongst us the very distinguished speakers whom I would request to please join us on the stage. Mr. Sudhir Sahu, founder and CEO, Ms. Mahi Gupta, Vice President of Privacy Strategy Data Safeguard Incorporation USA. We are also very humbled by the esteemed presence of Professor Dr. Sanjeev Bansal, Additional Pro Vice Chancellor, AUUP, and Dr. J.S. Sodhi, Senior Vice President, IT, Amity University. We request all the dignitaries to please join us on the stage, and let's give a very rousing welcome to the distinguished speakers for the session. We are also joined by our very distinguished guests from Data Safeguard Inc., Dr. Damodar Sahu, co-founder and Chief Growth Officer, Mr. Ashish Raut, Chief Delivery Officer, Mr. Pranab Mohanty, Chief Business Officer, Ms. Sudeshna Mishra, Delivery Manager, and Ms. Moshmi, Director, Privacy of Data Safeguard. And we heartily welcome all them to Amity University. Taking it forward, may I now invite Professor Dr. Sanjeev Bansal, Additional Pro Vice Chancellor, Dean FMS, and Director, Amity Business School, for the welcome address and introduction to Amity Education Group.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm being given a very, very difficult task today, actually, by my dear friend, Dr. Sodhi, who spoke with me around 3 weeks ago, and he said there is a very important lecture we have to conduct. Very important team is coming. And when he spoke about the word data privacy, I said definitely it should be. I'm a student of decision sciences. This is my core area, where one of the subjects which I teach is statistics. And when I start teaching statistics, my first definition is it's a branch which deals with data. And my love and affection with this words data is very old. I just recollected my old times when I used to study, and when I was going through my graduation days, I was told that there is a new branch of computer science and IT which is coming to India. And I visited the centers during those times. And since that time, data, how to use data mining and everything is in thing. And especially in this particular decade, the most important aspect has become safeguard of data. When Dr. Sodhi told me about the team, I asked him 5-6 times, please give me the names, who all they are, what their designation is, how they are going to be there. And he gave me some names. Today, when they all met me, then I realized that Dr. Sodhi's information was actually half. he had only given the perspective of the team members from the company's perspective only, but he was actually not knowing that every member of this team is related to us, related to me, related to MET. I think a big round of applause for all the team members. I'm starting with the person who is sitting on the dais, Miss Mahi. So, though Miss Mahi is Vice President of Privacy Strategy, I will not introduce as Vice President of Privacy Strategy. I will just introduce her as a alumnus of MIT Law School who has done LLB and LLM from here. Welcome back, Mahi. I have with me Ms. Maushumi. So I said, Ms. Maushumi, I do not know any direct connection, but there was a scholar, my classmate during my PhD days, who was Ms. Maushumi. So we are now connected, and she has promised me that she, along with her son, will be joining MIT. Welcome, Maushumi. Mr. Ashish Raut, he is Chief Delivery Officer. But just before I was climbing to the dais, he said, sir, the relationship is established. I found somebody in Brigadier Navjot, and I am connected with MIT. In any case, you are going to join us for PhD also, sir. Dr. Damodar Sahu, the moment he entered my room and the first word he said, I'm so happy to come back to my alma mater. And he said, I'm a PGDM batch 2005 to 7 of MIT. Welcome back, Dr. Damodar. So in the meantime, you have completed MIT. And I wasted no time in calling her and said, have I taught you? And she said, yes. And I was very happy. And now it has prompted Mr. Mohanty also to join PhD from MIT. Welcome, Mr. Mohanty. Ms. Sudeshna, so far I could not establish any direct link, but she has promised, since she is a part of the team and everyone is joining MIT, so she will be also joining MIT. And the last but not the least, the head of all, Mr. Sudhir Sahu. When I was having lunch with the team members and I was saying about all these things, he said, Dr. Bansal, you have not left any option for me. Please tell me any program which I can do from US with MIT. I will be doing so. Welcome, Sudhirji. The relevance of today's lecture is very big. This particular act, which was there in 2023, and now it is again revamped, it's notified by Government of India in 2025 on this digital personal data protection, DPDP. It's a very important rule. It has came into existence on 14th November 2025. And together, the Act and the rules from a clear and citizen-centered framework for the responsible use of digital personal data. This is going to be very instrumental for each of us. When Wing Commander Sharma and me were basically drawing the design of this program, who all should be attended, then we all were in consensus that this particular lecture should not be attended only by any particular stream. It should be actually attended by everyone. And when we sent the circular for this, we actually tried that every institution should be giving the representation for this particular session. DRP, DPDP rule, which is basically there as a act, as a rule, has a clear and citizen-oriented framework. They place equal weight on individual rights and lawful data processing with the notification of the rules. Now, India has a practical and innovation-friendly system for data protection. It supports ease of understanding, encourages compliance, and strengthens trust in the country's growing digital ecosystem. The Digital Personal Data Protection Rules 2025 give full effect to the DPDP Act 2023 and build a clear and practical system to protect personal data in a fast expanding digital environment. The rules focus on the rights of citizens and on the responsible data used by the organization. The rule aims to curb unauthorized commercial use of data, reduce digital harms, and create a safe space for innovation. This rule is also going to help India maintain a strong and trusted digital economy. We are fortunate today that we are having the pioneers of this field, the, with Mr. Sudhir Saha, founder and CEO of Data Safeguard, and all the team members who are here to give you an awareness session. And on behalf of the entire Amity group, headed by our visionary Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, our founder president, on behalf of the Chancellor of this university and President of this foundation, Dr. Atul Chauhan, on behalf of each and every member of Amity University, Uttar Pradesh, I welcome the team and I'm looking forward for this awareness session in length. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir. You have so beautifully connected us all to the very proud Amity family. It gives us immense pleasure to have amongst us Mr. Sudhir Sahu, who's a serial entrepreneur and CEO of Safeguard. With extensive experience in thought leadership, strategic roadmap design, and enterprise product development. He has successfully led organizations by driving both short and long term growth with a very strong vision and mission. Known for building value driven companies, he champions innovation, governance, and stakeholder trust across teams, customers, shareholders, and government bodies. Sir, we are so eagerly looking forward to your address. As eagerly, he is waiting to give his address. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Bansal. Thank you. And thank you all students. Many people don't take interest in privacy. 20 years back, when security and privacy came together, most of the companies and the individuals put their focus on security, saying, somebody is protecting my data by putting some security standards in place. But lately, people have started understanding in 120 countries around the world that privacy is now more important than security. Why is that? Why does privacy matter? Because privacy is something about my data, your data, and everybody else that is sitting in this room. If I took your data and I gave it to somebody who doesn't know how to handle that data, your life will be in chaos. And the impact that you would have as somebody opening a fake bank account in your name and doing terrorism funding. So the extent of privacy has significantly improved in the world, and then more and more people are understanding the value of it. With the privacy acts around the globe, 120 countries have now adopted some privacy act. India also has adopted DPDP Act, which is the Digital Privacy Act. What does it do? The Indian citizen has now become the owner of the data. Earlier, the companies used to own the data, and they did whatever they wanted to do with our data, but they cannot do that anymore. So that means you also understand, you must understand that what is the rights that you have as an individual and how you could protect your data, your name, your phone number, your email ID, your Aadhaar card number, your PAN card number, your voter ID, your driving license number, which may have been exposed earlier, should be protected by the people who are handling this data. They should be protecting it better to give you the peace of mind so you can sleep well at home. So my name is Sudhir Sahu. I am the founder of Data Safeguard. And why did we create this company? Because in the next 5 years, 5+ billion people will be impacted by data breaches. And why is that? Because more and more things are being done in the digital ecosystem. The digital ecosystem also, while it creates the comfort for us to do things faster, it also gives the opportunity to the hacker to steal our data. And when they steal our data, then they are able to do all kinds of things, which is to open bank accounts or do terrorism funding or even synthetic fraud. Now, synthetic fraud is a $3 trillion market that every year banks and financial institutions lose money. How do they lose money? Because somebody takes your data and the person sitting next to you and the person sitting next to you combines using an AI program and creates synthetic data out of it, and which is then used to open a fake bank account to move money or to steal money, etc. So we decided that as a mission and the passion that we all had that how do we protect these 5 billion people around the globe? And that's why we created Data Safeguard. Data Safeguard is now rated by 20 plus analyst companies around the world as the #1 privacy management company in the world. We have been helping companies in the global market become privacy compliant, being able to protect the individual's data better. And now we are here in India to help the Indian economy and Indian citizens protect their data better. It's called digital autonomy, meaning when you bank with a bank, you trust the bank better. If the bank is privacy compliant, you can trust the retail company if you're buying something from Samsung. If Samsung is privacy compliant, your trust in Samsung is much higher because they will protect your data. If you are going to Max Healthcare, which is a hospital group, and you or your family members are admitted, or there is some personal health information that Max Healthcare is holding about you, you feel much more comfortable if they are privacy compliant. That means your trust in Max Healthcare is much higher and much more increased. Introduction to data privacy, empowering every individual. Like I said earlier, every company used to be the owner of the data and they decided what to do. Now you are the owner of the data. Every Indian citizen now owns the data. That means every bank, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, SBI Bank, or Punjab National Bank, they have to take your consent before they decide what to do with it. You are the data principal. That means you have access rights, and your rights have to be now honored. And the banks or healthcare companies, retail companies, automotive companies, telecom companies like Vodafone or Airtel, they cannot do anything with your data without your consent. And that's basically what it is. Earlier, the companies used to be the owner of the data. Now, the Privacy Act gives you the ownership of your data. And the companies who are dealing with your data have to become compliant and must take your consent before they can do anything with your data. Now, what is this agenda? For you, why is it really, really important? As a student, when Amity University takes your data, is the Amity University, I'm going to put Dr. Sori on the spotlight here. What kind of privacy programs he's going to run to help protect your data? Now, anybody has a question that you want to ask Dr. Sori? Person in the front. What if Amity University does not protect your data? What happens to your data? And how can it impact you? Please stand up. Please come here. Please come up. Please come. Please announce your name.
My name is Chanchal Radhi from MBA General Batch, first year.
Thank you, Chanchal. So if Amity University does not protect your Aadhaar card number, PAN card number, voter ID, driver's license number, date of birth, and somebody hacks in and they steal your data, how will it impact you?
According to me, everything is now linked with Aadhaar card number and all that. So everything related with that number or the services which are interrelated will impact.
Yes.
So
Will it impact your life?
yes, it can impact because my social life, my legal practices and all will be interrelated, and that will be affected because of that.
Absolutely. So do you believe that Amity University should follow the privacy law?
Yes, I do believe.
Okay. What will you do to demand it? Because you are now the data principal. You have the right, and you as a student, Amity University holds your data. How will you demand this from Dr. Sori that please protect my data?
I will demand privacy policy agreement.
Yes, great idea. Thank you all. Dr. Sori, would you like to answer that question?
Yes, as an MBT IT, we believe that any data loss can even lead to the identity theft. Identity theft is the extreme end of the theft, where anything and everything is lost. You are known by your name, your bank account number, your Aadhaar number, and everything has been taken over by someone else. We used to hear such kind of cases in newspapers, and so we always take care of that part, and we ensure that all the data taken by us, starting from the while you fill the form till you graduate and even you become alumni. Because you all know, alumni, our Amazon has an access-based access door system. Everyone cannot get every data depending on the department, depending on the role, any data can be accessed by Indeed.
Thank you, Dr. Sodi. So if you look at the agenda, 3, learn your personal role in protecting data. And Chansal said that I will demand Amity University does protect my data, and that's the agenda. And how Dr. Sodi answered that is that identify key risks and preventing practices. The Amity University already has these practices to protect all of your personal data so that your life is in peace and you don't get impacted, your identity is not compromised, and somebody else cannot take over your data. So the rights and the controls, right? What's the difference between the right of the individuals to control their personal information? Meaning you define why somebody should be doing anything that they want to do with your data. So ensures data is collected, used, and shared fairly and lawfully. So the law is the Privacy Act. The Privacy Act says that this is what you can do with my data and this is what you should not do with it. Transparency, control, and protection. For the individual should at all points of time know what is being done with their data. So why somebody is collecting my data? When you go to the airport, you see everybody takes their Aadhaar card number, PAN card number, and the card, and they put it at the airport on the counter, and everybody else can see it. Somebody takes a picture of it. You as an individual have now the right to question the airline. Why do you need my Aadhaar card? Why do you need my driving license number? How will you store it? What will you do with that data? How will you protect that data? Now the airline cannot just ask, give it to me, otherwise I will not let you board. You provide some form of identification so they can verify that you are this person and validate that you are this person. But also at the same time, now they have to be a lot more responsible to protect your data. So the more data leak that happens, the chances are that the impact on your life will be significant. Why data privacy matters, right? Matters. We spoke about the reasons why people should be protecting their data is to protect them from losing their identity. If somebody else takes over your identity, they can do all kinds of things which will land you in trouble. Then the cops come home to that individual saying that you did this, and then you have to prove it that you actually did not do this. That's why privacy. From here on, I would like to now transition this over to your alumni, Ms. Mahi Gupta. She's a law student from Amity, and then now she is our Vice President of Privacy Strategy at Data Safeguard. Thank you all for your participation.
Thank you, sir, for such an enlightening address. I would now welcome Ms. Mahi Gupta, and as sir very rightly said, she is the VP of Privacy Strategy Data Safeguard. With over 7 years of experience, she is a seasoned privacy professional specializing in multi-jurisdictional data protection across India, the Middle East, Europe, and the US. She has advised 40 plus organizations across finance, technology, and healthcare, translating complex regulations into practical business driven solutions. May I request Ms. Mahi Gupta to share her perspectives?
Hey, hi guys. So let's keep it a little bit informal. Everybody is okay with that? Works? Okay.
So, okay, give me a shout out. How many of you are using Snapchat, Streak? How many of you? Come on, it's just a hands up. Come on, guys. Oh, come on. तुम लोग बोल रहे हो कि you guys are not using it? How many of you are using it? Come on. Okay, Instagram. Everybody? I don't see these guys' hands up. Not using Instagram? No? Really, we have gem of people. Please stand up for me once. Those of you who are not using Instagram, and I'm going to come and personally check your phone after this. Sit down. Okay. All right. So, okay, let's just start with the very basic, right? Why are we talking about privacy? Why is it relevant? Did it ever occur to anybody of you, jitne, whatever images that you're capturing out of, all your phones, where is that data going? Any clue? Company's cloud storage. Where is that company's cloud storage? Tell me. Which geography? Exactly. And this is where this is the bigger part of the problem, right? Why we are talking about data privacy is because of a very, very simple reason that you are sharing unfiltered amount of data. And like Sudhir mentioned, right? Synthetic fraud, cyber leaks. I'll tell you a very interesting story. So, and I was quite moved by that story. So that's why I'm sharing it. There's this doctor, right? There was this doctor in Hyderabad. She was a cardiac surgeon. And, she was under the impression that she was under digital arrest. So she gave somewhat about 30 lakh rupees and she died of a cardiac. Okay. Now, that's the irony. She's a cardiac surgeon and she died of a cardiac arrest. And the synthetic fraud people were still calling her. And who figured it out? It was her son. It was her son. After 5 days of her passing away, they figured out that she had already given 30 lakh rupees to this fraudster. And they still had the urge to extract more money. This is just one example that I'm quoting. There are so many examples. Every time that we do the research or we are reading about such things, there are n number of cases. There was an ex-IPS, he gave 5 crore rupees under digital arrest. And digital arrest, by the way, does not exist. That's a key. Okay. So here is where the catch is. I'm going to keep it very, very informative for you to kind of understand why we are talking about these things. Okay. One thing is when we're talking about sharing of data to, different places, to different people, we're doing it out of our own will, out of our own, let's say, in a fit of doing streaks, in a fit of letting people know where we are at, what is it that we are doing, and how do we want to socialize ourselves, right? But the way that data is being used is something that you need to start questioning, right? And how do you do that? So there are some important things, or there are some important terminologies that I'm going to talk to you about that you as an individual should be knowing, right? So let's start. When I say individual is, right, the owner of the data, like Sudhir mentioned, right? If you are the owner of the data, who are you going to be? Anybody? Any terms? Pranav, you tell them. So under the DPDP realm, you're going to be the data principal. Any person whose data is being shared and is going to be used by the organizations is going to be the data principal. The second that we have is the person who's using the data. Like, let's say you are the data principal for Amity University. And now Amity gets to decide how they are going to use your data, right? Like I'm being called an alumni. So my data fiduciary is going to be Amity University. So any organization who's using the data is going to be the data fiduciary. Okay. Okay. Now this one is a little complex, so bear with me. Let me give you an example. Okay. So Microsoft is the organization from which you're taking MS Office. Everybody uses MS Office over here? right? Now, let's say Microsoft uses some vendor for the purposes of procuring certain chairs, certain tables, right? Or for getting certain PCs. Example, right? Those are going to be your data processors. So data processor is going to be anybody who's going to use data on behalf of the organization for the purposes of storing, collecting, using, deleting, altering, or consuming the data. Okay. So any real life examples? How many of you can tell me any data fiduciary that you know of? Sorry. Chat GPT. Okay. Yes, sir. Sure. Okay.
And these employees, they use the data to basically chart out the claims, and then they send the data back to the company. I think that is what you were talking about, someone using the data on behalf.
It's hard to get the hang of things, but it's fine. Good try. Chat GPT, right? Chat GPT is the product, right? Chat GPT is by. So who's the data fiduciary? Yes, sir. Google is the data fiduciary. Yes, the Google is going to be the data fiduciary. Let's take for example, okay, Amity is the a little louder. Come on, you've had lunch, right? सबने खाया था जाकर बाहर lunch? नहीं? I'm very sorry. बाद में खा लेना यार. It's okay. Okay. So Amity is going to be your. Okay. You are going to be the data principals. And who's going to be the data processor in this? Amazon. You are having online classes, right? All of you have online classes. Who's the vendor for that? Anybody? MS Teams. MS Teams is owned by. So who's the processor here? Okay. Okay. Now let's talk about what are the different kinds of data. Okay. Under the privacy realm, data is divided into different categories, right? And basis the categories is how we determine what is the sensitivity of the data. And hence why we have a lot of, let's say, how do you inform data subjects or how do you inform data principals about how the data breach has happened? How do you ensure that the data is kept, very secure in the data centers and things of that nature, right? So the first category that we have is personal data. Okay. So anybody, please volunteer, yaar. Anybody just get up and tell me your name. I cannot believe the fact that you guys are not ready to volunteer. Please. Thank you. Nishant. Okay. So, and what's your last name? Sherawat. Okay. So, personal data comprises of any identifiers like this individual. Now I can identify him as Nishant Sherawat, right? So the first name and the last name becomes personal data. Okay. All right. I'm very sorry to be asked. But are you what's your religion?
Hindu.
Okay. All right. Now, let's say that he would have mentioned some other religion. Very easy for me to target him. Not easy, easy. Come on. Easy. So, his religion, his sexual preferences, his other denotations make him a sensitive target. So, he becomes, now this piece of information becomes sensitive. Okay, thank you. All right. So when we talk about data, we say that personal data is one element, but when combined with sensitive data can have catastrophic effect on individual. Like I gave you an example. This is just a small classroom auditorium example, right? Imagine you have Amazon have everything about you, all your preferences, what is it that you like, what kind of, let's say, colors do you like? They're profiling you. They are sort of, there's a saying in the data world where we say that Amazon and Google perhaps know more about you than you know about yourself. So how's that? How's that happening? They're sharing your data, they're collecting your data, they are profiling you over time. They have profiled you from the day you started using it. Sounds dense? Dense enough for you to pay attention? Dense enough for you to ask the right questions? So that is why when we keep talking about, हम टूटे तार की तरह बजते रहते हैं, जैसे मम्मी पापा बजते हैं घर पे, हम भी बज रहे हैं, है ना? We are saying that protect your data, talk about these sensitive issues, because it's not just about profiling you here and there. It's about profiling your entire life. Okay, I'll tell you something which is even more scary now. And don't hate me for this, okay? There is a study that talks about the fact that Google and Amazon is driving our lives more than we are driving them. Do you know all the ads that you see are actually made to drive your preferences? You don't drive your lives anymore. It's the data that's driving your life. Dense enough? So how do you feel now? Do you feel like you don't have a choice while you think you have a choice? Right? So when we're talking about data privacy, all that we are trying to focus on is for you as consumers to ask the right questions, for you as consumers to ask the right questions from all the fiduciaries to whom you're giving the data. So let's just say that HDFC Bank, I'll take an example. Sorry, sir. HDFC Bank, okay? HDFC Bank shares the data, okay? What data? Your spending patterns, okay? And it shares it with Google. Very small thing. It's a very small data share that has happened, right? But now, because I have your spending patterns and I have your choice patterns, I almost know what is it that you're automatically going to select, right? So how do you ask the right questions? What are the right questions according to you people? Anybody? Okay. So the first right question that you should be asking is, why are you collecting my data? Okay. Because you won't want the organization to lawfully, fairly, and transparently process all the data that they have about you. Okay. The second thing is, the organization is supposed to maintain the security and the integrity of the data that they hold about you. So what do I mean by security and integrity of the data? Anybody? Yeah, please. Mhm. Okay. Correct. Anything else? Anybody wants to add? Okay. So what do we mean by security and integrity of data means that, first of all, you're supposed to not tamper with the data sets. That is how you maintain the integrity of the data, right? When I say that you are supposed to collect only 5 data fields about me, that is my name, my last name, my, let's say, phone number, my date of birth, and so on. So you only collect that data elements and you do not tamper with it. Okay. That is maintaining the integrity of the data. And how do you maintain the security of data? By ensuring that the data is not used by somebody else. Okay. So it's almost like somebody getting access to your WhatsApp chats without you letting them. Okay. All right. Now, moving on. So, what do you mean by data minimization? Yeah, please.
To use the minimum amount of the data that is required by the organization to function its application or apps.
Very good. You're passing around a sheet. I see a sheet somewhere. That's the attendance sheet, I'm believing. Right? Can I see that, please? Where's the attendance sheet, guys? Thank you. Very much. So, now this sheet has your enrollment numbers, your names, your roll numbers, and your signatures. Okay. Do you think this sheet, if it would have had your date of birth, would have made any sense? No. Your father's name? Okay. Your blood group? Okay. So, does it make sense for it to have your roll numbers now? Okay. And your enrollment numbers? Are they different? Are they used for different purposes? So this is what I mean by data minimization. What data minimization means is if you require 3 data fields to achieve your purpose, you only use those 3 data fields. Okay. Right. Thank you. All right. The next that we have is purpose limitation. Let's say that this piece of paper is supposed to be used only for the purposes of recording attendance for this particular seminar that is there, right? Let's say tomorrow it is used to grade your papers. Fair? Why? Why not fair? Exactly. You cannot use the same data set for multiple purposes. Why? Because different data sets achieve different kinds of purposes at the end. The more data set complexity that you create for yourself, the difficult it gets for the end consumer. Okay? Now, after that, we have a storage limitation. Imagine this room is capable of admitting some 300 folks, I'm saying, right? Imagine 1,000 people over here. Good? No? Why? Capacity issues. Second is suffocation. Third is you guys piling on to each other, right? So, is it really relevant for us to keep the data which is no longer required? Makes sense, right? Giving you very practical examples so that you can relate with it, right? It's the same. I am saying, मेरी 2010 की क्या preferences थी? I'm not the same person anymore, am I? No, right? My preferences have evolved over time. I have learned new things, new skills. I have been a new business, right? So, what I'm trying to ask from the data fiduciary is, till how long are you keeping my data? When are you going to delete my data? What relevance is it that you keep my data from 20 years back? Do you need it? Are you still judging me on that data? So it's almost like you judging your friend that will, some 20 years back, some very lame guy. I'm sorry to be saying lame, but then again, right? Some very lame guy. And now you're judging him 20 years forward. Fair? This is the same thing, right? Now, coming to accountability. What do you mean by accountability? It's a very simple English word, right? It's a synonym for responsibility. Okay. But what do you mean when I say accountability as an organization? What do you mean by that? Responsibility as an organization is the synonym, the same thing. But what is it that it entails? That's what I'm interested in. That is a very good thing. Ownership, further confidence. So what do I mean when I say accountability? That it's not just about using the data. It's also about saying that if tomorrow something happens to the data, I am going to go and make things correct for you, right? So it's to say that while Amazon can take all my data and collect and draw as many insights as they want to, but if something happens to my data and thereby something happens to me, you for what? While using what? Partly there.
Recording in progress.
All right. So these are the lawful bases under which processing generally under any privacy regulation is allowed, right? So the first we have is consent. The second we have is contractual necessity. So what is the classic example of contractual necessity? So I'm an employee for data safeguard, right? So data safeguard can process certain information about me. They need my bank account, right? Otherwise, I'm not going to get the salary. My salary days are just coming, don't cut my salary days. But that is what I mean by contractual necessity. For the purposes of giving me salary, they need to take certain information about me to process the salary, right? The same very classic example of this could be Zomato. Everybody's ordering, right? Okay. So imagine if you tomorrow go and tell Zomato wale bhaiya ki bhaiya naam nahi दूंगी, number भी नहीं बताऊंगी और address तो दूंगी ही नहीं, तो वो खाना कैसे देगा? Right? He needs that 3 bare minimum information pieces from you to be able to deliver the food to you, right? That is a contractual necessity, right? Let's talk about legal obligation. Now, all of you know that we have to file ITR. Most of your parents must be filing ITR, I believe, right? Now, ITR, for the purposes of ITR, you need to give your PAN card details. Otherwise, there's no ITR that's getting filed, right? So that is called a legal obligation. For the purposes of legal obligation, you need to be able to give certain information, right? And the last we have is public interest. Public interest could be something as simple as COVID. Happened, right? We all wanted to get out of COVID. So we wanted to share as much information as possible in order to, for the government agencies to know things about us, to find the cure for us, right? So that is called a public interest. Okay. So I think we are at the nick of time, I believe, right? Okay. Yeah. Mausami and Damodar. So guys, we are going to stop at this. We're at the cap of the hour. But we'll have Mausami and Damodar come and answer certain questions for you if you have any.
Thank you, Mai. Back to school. I was studying here, 2005 to 2007. So yeah, so pleasure to be back after many years, 21 years. I used to work in Delhi for over 6 years before going to US.
Hello, myself Maushami. So I have been working with IT. Previously, I was working with a software technology. So I was a software professional. Then for the last 4 years, I'm working with an privacy as a privacy professional, and I'm very glad to be here. My son wants to go into psychology, and I think this is the place that he can come here. Yeah.
Okay, so I won't take much time. I think we are already across 3 p.m. And my name is Damodar Sahu, and I'm the Chief Growth Officer at Safeguard based out of US. So we all know privacy matters, right? I mean, Sudev, Mahi, they talk about why privacy matter and how others are actually intruding our life, right? I mean, they enforce us to take a lot of decisions. Digital RSC talked about. So really privacy matters. And I have been hearing since my childhood, my parents, my grandparents used to always say, hey, privacy matter. What does it mean? That means you need to share what is required. So no need to share unnecessary information. It is good to be on social media. I am everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, as well as widely available on LinkedIn. But you need to say what exactly you need to say, right? For your business, maybe for you, if you're a social influencer, definitely you have to share something which will influence others, right? But you have to cut short the information we should not share. And you understood what is data principle versus data fiduciary and the processor, right? So I think you are all student, you will get into your corporate job or maybe startup, or maybe you can be a social influencer. So wherever you go, always try to give back to the society, right? So that is also matters. We all are human and better human, so that is society and the world in whole will be on peace, right? So with that, I want to end my talk. Yeah, what was it?
So just tell me, will you allow anyone to enter your house, unknown person? Will you give them allow? Do you allow anyone to have your account details, bank account details? So why should we give our personal data to everyone? So privacy began with me, right? So we have seen whenever I post do any post in the Facebook, it automatically goes to the Instagram also, right? So we need to control our data. We need to have the power to protect our data. And this DPDPA Act has given us the power. So we know who should be having our data, if someone is processing our data, why they are processing data. And if you want them not to process the data, you have the right to say them, don't process my data, right? So you need to be, you have to safeguard your privacy unless and until you don't begin from yourself. We cannot do that, right? So there will be a lot of incidents, lot of breaches will be happening. So it's only the end of the session. I will only say that privacy begins with self. We have to protect our data just like we protect our bank account details, our family members, our houses, right? So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Mahi, and thank you so much, Dr. Damodar and Ms. Maushami, for sharing your perspectives. And I'm sure, yes, all students at Amity, now we are all aware, and privacy matters the most. And I'm sure with such enlightening discussions, our students will be more equipped about privacy rules, and they will be doing all the needful to protect their own identities and their own data. Taking it forward, since time was less, discussions have been too rewarding and valuable in this short period of time. May I request Dr. Sanjeev Bansal sir and Dr. J.S. Sodhi sir to please present a token of gratitude and appreciation to our distinguished speakers, Mr. Sudhir Sahu and Ms. Mahi Gupta, for such an impactful session. Thank you so much, Mr. Sudhi, for joining us today and sharing such wonderful insights with our students. I'm sure it was wonderful listening to our own alumnus, Miss Mahi, back to her own campus and sharing her perspectives on privacy with all of us. Thank you, Mahi, for joining us. May I also request Dr. Damodar Sahu to please join us on the stage? May I request Brigadier Navjot sir to please join us on the stage? Thank you so much, sir. I request Mr. Ashish Raut sir to join us on stage, please. I also request Miss Moshmi and Miss Sudeshna to join us on stage, please, along with Mr. Pranam Mohanty, sir. May I also request Mr. Pranam Mohanty, sir, to please join us? I kindly request all the dignitaries to please come forward for a group photograph. Thank you so much. May I now request Professor Dr. J.S. Odi, Vice President IT, for the concluding remarks. Thank you very much. May I now request Dr. Sodhi, sir, for the concluding remarks.
What a great session today. Sudhir ji, we at MIT make our students learn not only from the books and lectures, but also with such kind of special guest lectures from the corporate world. Without any doubt, I can say today's guest lecture from you and Mahi is one of the best ones ever happened in this auditorium. So it is on the most relevant subject, which is important for each one of us. Thank you so much for this. So Sudhir, one request, if you can come on the stage, please. Come here, come here. Students, here is a man, Mr. Sudhir Sahu. His life is an inspiration for all of us. He believes in doing impactful work to make difference. He studied in Mumbai and Delhi, moved to USA in year 1996 and became a serial entrepreneur. He created many companies and made them a global companies. He is an example to see how one can achieve success by working passionately. Whenever we used to talk him, every sentence of his has the deep in-depth of his domain knowledge and with full of passion. I request all the audience to give him a standing ovation. Please stand up. Huge round of applause. Thank you, Sudhir ji, for being a role model for our students. Thank you so much. Dr. Damodar Sahu, co-founder of Data Safeguard. Dr. Damodar Sahu, he is a co-founder of Data Safeguard. He is a winner of Chief Growth Officer Award of year 2025 from Fortuna Global Excellence Award held at Dubai and just 1 month back, December 2025. Dr. Damodar said once, privacy is not a privilege. It is a fundamental right. And I fully resonate with you on this. Dr. Damodar and today's speaker Mahi, welcome back to your alma mater. Thank you so much. All the senior leadership of DSG, thank you so much for coming to MIT. Your presence has made this event very successful. Data privacy is a market of $1 trillion US. Please have a seat. And will have a most demand in careers in near future. Dear students, this is a time to understand security and privacy. Privacy matters. Privacy is not something that we are entitled to, but it is an absolute prerequisite. Today, technology and information have become the new mantra. Lot of digital transformation is going on. Business is being transacted at a lightning speed across the globe. In India, projects like Digital India, Smart City have a direct impact on governance, transparency, and accountability. However, a cyber insecure Digital India or a cyber insecure Smart City can paralyze whole city in just one click, which can be direct threat to national security. Hence, it is important that security and privacy is to be the built-in design feature of any application, any product. I can think of no better message for all the young people, all the students of this university in this room, that this country belongs to you. You need to prepare yourself to work for our national interest. You need to prepare yourself to be informed. Empower yourself with a good knowledge. Be hopeful, be focused, be empowered, and be cyber aware in this digital world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, and thank you all, and especially the wonderful audience. I'm sure the insights will help all of us in the privacy rules and protecting our own data. Thank you, everybody.